India is set to release its interim budget for 2024 on Thursday, ahead of the country's highly anticipated general elections. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will be presenting the pre-election budget for the fiscal year, which runs from April 1, 2024 to March 31, 2025. The interim budget is seen as a stopgap financial plan during an election year, aimed at meeting immediate financial needs before a new government is formed. The full-fledged union budget will only be released after the elections, which will take place between April and May. Typically, the interim budget won't include big and sweeping policy announcements. But this interim budget is still important, Nomura said in a client note, pointing out it could shed light on the final budget, since many analysts are expecting the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party to win this election. The government is in election mode, and so there will be tacit targeting of its key constituents, with the interim budget likely to be a political statement, the bank's economists said. Here are the biggest takeaways analysts expect. India's fiscal deficit stands at 6.4% of gross domestic product for the 2023-2024 financial year. The government has said it aims to narrow it by 50 basis points to 5.9% during the fiscal year 2024-2025. Will the government meet the 5.9% of GDP fiscal deficit target in FY24? Yes, analysts at Goldman Sachs said in a note, noting that if spending remained muted in the current quarter, the deficit could even come down to 5.8%. Goldman also expects higher spending on major subsidies that include the Rural Employment Program. However, Nilesh Shah, managing director at Kotak Mahindra Asset Management, argued that the government would need to work toward meeting its divestment targets before the current quarter ends in March. The government needs to boost divestment targets through the selling of state-run firms to help meet its fiscal deficit target. Unless the central government picks up the divestment receipts in next 2 months, there is a reasonably good balancing required to meet 5.9%, Shah warned. My feeling is that unless the central government picks up the divestment receipts in the next 2 months, there is reasonably good balancing required to meet 5.9%, Shah told CNBC in a phone interview. India is reportedly set to miss its divestment targets for a 5th consecutive year. Goldman Sachs has predicted that India will become the world's second-largest economy by 2075. As it is, India is already the 5th-largest economy globally, behind the US, China, Japan and Germany. To overtake the rest of the countries to become the number 2 economy after China, India will have to improve its infrastructure and build better road and railway connectivity.